Hi Pablo, my name is Hammy J. Um, I see that you're going in February, and tips on must-do things. At the resort, definitely check out all of the restaurants. You're going to be there for a week, so you have just enough time to check out all five restaurants. Also, definitely go to the Great Parnassus and check out Maison de Michel. You have to kind of dress up like a collared shirt and slacks with closed-toed shoes. I think women should be okay wearing heels and a dress. Amazing food in the States for two people would easily be over like $100 and $150 check. They also have a great restaurant called Samurai. There's 2 or 3 other restaurants there, but Samurai and Maison definitely stood out to us there. Definitely go over there and just see the property, so the Great Parnassus. They do have a really huge pool that has like 3 or 4 different levels. It's like different levels of infinity pool. They have another pool, I think on the 3rd floor, 2nd floor. It's an adult pool. It has like a little raised jacuzzi, I guess you would call it. And trying to think what else. Things outside of the hotel to make sure you do. Definitely take a trip to Isla Mujeres, but do not book a trip with anybody. Go there yourself and do it on your own because it'll work out so much cheaper. Walk down to the bus stop. You can walk to the right of the driveway when you get to the end of the property's driveway, or you can walk to the left. I think the left is quicker, but the right is definitely more scenic because you're passing all of the Ritz-Carlton's like beautiful palm trees and beautiful landscaping and everything. But when you get to the bus stop, make sure the front of the bus says Puerto Juarez, Juarez, I believe. And even if it does say it, I would still ask the bus driver to say, is this bus going to Puerto Juarez? Sometimes the bus will take you right to the bus, to Puerto Juarez, and sometimes you'll stop, but then there'll be like these little vans, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think it was only like 50 cents. And you get on these little vans, and it looks really shady and really creepy. I was so scared the first time, I'm telling you. But it's really safe. People do it all the time. You kind of ride with the locals. You will be packed in there like Mexicans, of course. But they're really nice people. Just, use your city knowledge. Don't just sit there flash cash or anything like that. Just keep to yourself, and you could say hi or whatever, but don't be like, flashing your goods or whatever. I mean, like, at least not those goods. And that'll be like a 3 to 5 minute van ride. And it'll take you right to the port. Then you'll take the ferry, the Ultramar ferry, which Ultramar has a website, ultramar.com, ULTRAMAR.com. Sorry for the music in the background. My mom's watching a movie. And that ferry ride takes about 25 to 30 minutes to get there, which is the faster of the ferries, I believe, because if you take, I think it's like a water taxi, it goes a little bit slower, so it's like 45 to 50 minutes. Excuse me. And that's like usually the more expensive option. When you get there, walk right across the street, and there's a little place where you can rent golf carts. Anywhere from like $35 to like I think $60 a day or somewhere around that. It's not too bad. And the island itself is probably about, I would say, like somewhere between 3 and 5.5 miles long, and it's beautiful. And you can drive your golf cart from one end all the way to the other. When you get off the boat, if you look to the right, that's going to be like, if you go all the way to the end, you're going to see Garifun National Park where you can go snorkeling, but you have to pay to get in there. And if you go even further than that, you'll go to the lighthouse with a beautiful view, and there's like the little Mayan ruins and like this little thing. You have to pay like $5 or $10 extra to go in there and walk through it. We never have. We just take pictures from on top of the lighthouse because you can actually walk up and go to the top, although it is kind of scary. To the left of when you get off the ferry, it's just getting louder and louder, isn't it? Anyway, to the left of the ferry dock, like when you're coming back from the other side of the island, if you wanted to do that, that's Playa Norte. It's a beautiful beach, beautiful, beautiful. You can walk out so far and still only be like hip deep, and like you can look down and literally see fish would just swim right next to you. I have seen people topless there, so I assume you can do that. trying to think what else. And if you take a boobs cruise or a booze cruise, whatever you want to call it, they will stop at Isla Mujeres to do lunch. I really recommend a booze or boobs cruise if one is happening while you're there. You want to check with the Temptations forum on CancunCare.com, because they, have different sign-ups and you can put your name in. And just make sure you're definitely going, though, because they don't ask for any money up front. And if you say that you're going and end up not going, you're doing more harm than good. So just make sure you can definitely go and submit your name. They'll put you on it. I think the boat holds like way over like 40 people, 45 people, something like that. So I think they need at least 25 people to go. But they usually prefer a fuller boat because it's more fun, of course. And they have snorkeling and all you can drink, and $65. I think it's from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Includes your lunch. They give you like a little bit of time to shop at the end, but we usually just go to like this hole-in-the-wall bar. That's what we did last year anyway. That was my first boobs cruise ever, and it was so much fun. But okay, so we have a trip to Isla Mujeres, whether you go on your own or you go with the boobs cruise. But don't do like a tour at the hotel. Don't, buy from a vendor downtown. Definitely go by yourself. If you do it through a tour or with the hotel or whatever, it's going to be like anywhere from like $65 to $80. When we did Ultramar, it's $4 a person each way. And the bus, the bus is not even that expensive. And when I say $4, it's $4 American dollars. Which you should convert a certain amount of your dollars into pesos, because, with American dollars, you will tend to get ripped off just a little bit more. So with certain things, you should always pay in pesos. Try to convert a good amount over before you come, or even while you're here. If you're in America, you can go to AmericanExpress.com and then type in currency exchange, and they'll give you a list of all the places in your area or around your area that will do it. I know for me, the closest one's like 2.5 hours away, so I do have to make the trek, unfortunately, before we go. What else? Jungle tour, I thought was really stupid. You guys might like it. I guess it just depends on your taste. To me, it seemed like we paid $65 to get a bottle of water and drive a little 2-person boat through like wetlands and marsh, and they called it a jungle. Like, we didn't go snorkeling or anything like that, and they're like, oh, here's a bottle of water at the end. I'm like, I paid all that money for that, really? I could have just spent $40 and, rented some jet skis. Definitely rent jet skis. I've never done it in the ocean. The ocean is definitely way more beautiful than the lagoon is. Lagoon is, like, dark and ugh. But it's so much fun to rent a jet ski in the lagoon, I'm telling you. I think it's like $40. Maybe it's $45 now. $45 a half hour and like $80 for a whole hour. But it's definitely worth it. And on top of that, there's like an 11% tax. I always go to Aqua World. I'm not sure the exact kilometer mark, but it is on Kukulkan Boulevard. Doesn't really help much because it's such a big boulevard. Trying to think what else. Definitely check out La Isla and take the little ferry that goes out into the lagoon. I think it's like $3 a person. It's so beautiful and so much fun. But La Isla Shopping Mall is just great, and there's entertainment there as well. Trying to think. Some people like the pirate cruise, where they put on like a little show for you. It's like a lobster cruise, or I'm sure there's different things you could choose from if you don't eat fish, like steak or something like that. I don't know. If you won't be there for a Cancun Care party. It's February. I'm not really sure what else, but you're gonna have a good time in Cancun no matter what. It's the greatest place that I've ever been to, ever. And it kind of proves that I've been there like a bajillion times. I think this March will be my 6th time. I'm so excited, and I think I will literally go every single year until I die, because it's just that amazing. And it just seems like a completely new place every single time I go. It doesn't seem like I'm going to the same old place, even though I stay at the same hotel, and I, kind of do most of the same things. I try something new every year. Like last year, I tried out the booze cruise, whichever you want to call it. This year, I've always been afraid of fish. I don't know why. I always think they're going to bite me. But I think I might try out snorkeling. I will never